Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Wesley Chapel Toyota, and guess what? We have one of the originals when it comes to the hybrid vehicle. This is a 2020 Toyota Prius XLE trim. But before we get into this one, let's talk a little bit about Prius history. The Toyota Prius has been around since 1997 and was really one of those groundbreakers when it came to hybrid vehicles. Now, what's interesting is that since this time with cars like the Prius and the Honda Insight, hybrids are plentiful and they could be found at many different dealerships and many different brands across the world. One thing is definitely for certain with this 2020 Toyota Prius, they really have brought a lot of extra niceties to it, but in a way where it's a little bit more palatable, I think, when it comes to appearance and whatnot. Now, there is the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, but the Toyota Corolla Hybrid you can only get in a base model. This being, like I said, the XLE trim is going to show you what is Toyota hybrid technology with some options thrown at it. But let's go ahead and dive into this 2020 Prius XLE. Off the bat, you can see the direction that they went with the styling. It's changed. It doesn't look as funky and science project type or art project type as the early renditions of the Prius. You can see very, very sleek headlight design. You got your daytime running lamp in there. I do like how small the headlight housing is, and it really does fit the brand design philosophy of Toyota. Now, one area that I'm definitely gonna zonk is this thing right here. Almost looks like a bumper, but part of the front fascia is that fake vent. I don't even know why it's there. I feel like if it was smooth, it'd be more aerodynamically efficient, because remember, for hybrids, it's all about cheating the air, especially when it comes to the Prius. But I think that there's probably a bunch of people that want funky design, and this Prius still brings it, but I think a little bit better for the variety of people, the masses, rather than just a small niche. Now, as we come across the front grille area, you do have your Toyota emblem with the blue hybrid. That's what that color represents. All flat black horizontal slots here in the grille. Overall, it's a clean appearance, and you could see how the airflow is going to be very efficient, especially with the way this lower lip area of the front fascia extends out. Now, when we go up onto the hood, very nice body lines that start on the front fascia into the hood. This really is what brings some of that funkiness to the style. There's almost like a U-shaped raised section, but like I said, I think 9 out of 10 times people want that kind of styling in their Prius, because there are other options, the Corolla Hybrid being one of them. Now, as we come around the fender area, very, very smooth, specific body line right here. We drop down, and this is our wheel and tire combination. Now, this is a 17-inch wheel. The great news is the black portion, that's all actual metal. This is plastic. So they add these slots in, which is great that they changed it to a silver instead of it all being black. This is gonna help aerodynamic efficiency over the side of the wheel. If you're wondering, well, what is the size of this tire and wheel setup? So this is a 17-inch wheel. You're gonna look at 45 series sidewall and 215 on the width of the wheel. So it fits it. Is it something that I would put on my car? No, but it does fit the Prius. Now, when we go into the fender here, you can see the A-pillar, how it starts, the body line goes right into the A-pillar. You have a hybrid badge. Of course, you gotta let people know that this is hybrid technology. The badge placement, it's good. A lot of times they start dropping these badges lower and lower or higher and higher. I think right there's a sweet spot. A little bit of gloss black. You can see how they have design in here to help channel the air down the side of the car. I do like the way the gloss black kind of folds over into the mirror, and then you have a little bit of chrome trim there up onto the roof. Very slick back for channeling that air. Even the side still, you'll see kind of extends a little bit, and then a body line that goes from the lower corner to this rear area, and then another design into the door. And that's why I said those are those design elements that I think people like. They work for aerodynamic efficiency, but people like that funky style when it comes to the Prius. You have a floating roof design, so you can see how this is blacked out here with the roof design into that rear pillar, and then back glass, very, very slanted. Like I said, channeling air. This area is all clear as well, because when you're sitting behind the business end, this is what's going to allow you to see directly behind you. You have the same kind of angular and slim trim on the headlights as you do on the taillights. We drop down, you got your Prius badge, another hybrid badge. Like I said, this is the XLE trim, and very, very clean underneath with some flat black. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and see what's powering this 2020 Prius. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on the Prius. I am gonna zonk the prop rod. One thing that is very tasteful is I like the way they brought some of that silver into the engine compartment. It looks very tasteful on the naturally aspirated portion of the engine. So hybrid technology, of course, we're talking about a combo deal. You got the 1.8 liter inline-4 naturally aspirated engine combined with those AC electric motors, 121 horsepower, 120 pound-feet of torque. It's all being channeled through what Toyota calls an ECVT transmission. Toyota is using sealed nickel metal hydride batteries. They have not switched over to the lithium ion, and from what I understand, they don't have any aspirations right now of switching over to lithium ion batteries. This XLE trim weighs about 3,075 pounds. 0 to 60, you're definitely not gonna win any drag races, is 9.8 seconds, but where you're gonna beat everybody is as you pass up the fueling stations. You're looking at 54 miles to the gallon in the city and 50 on the highway. Like I said, this technology keeps getting better and better. It's gonna be interesting as EVs become more attainable and offered by more brands, what's gonna happen with hybrids. But why don't we go ahead and check out the interior and see, is this Prius really worth it on the inside? All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Prius XLE trim. I know you're at that point of the video where you're like, Joe, let's start talking numbers. You've already said some really great MPGs that this thing returns. How much is it? MSRP XLE trim 2020 Prius, you're looking at around $30,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, the door panels I really like because they look really stylish and cool and 21st century. Now, that lighter material, you're probably gonna hate if you don't know how to wash your hands or if you have kids that like to, eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and then touch everything. So that is one thing of concern. The lower pocket though, it's a little on the small side, but there's still plenty of room for a bottle and some Twinkies that you can lay down in that longer section. Now, as you transition from the nice looking door panel to the dash, still very futuristic. I like the shape of the AC vents. It even says Prius on the tab there to control your vent. Soft material, and then on the Prius, that's where your gauge instrumentation is. Not my cup of tea like my grandmother used to say, but you know what? It's one of those things where it cleans up your view, that's for sure. You have your speedometer, fuel gauge, and all that good stuff on your left. Then you have that next little digital display where you can look at your power, the HV system indicator, fuel consumption, drive monitor. Another thing is, since Tom is on that, there's a drive mode select button. You have power mode, eco mode, and normal. So lots of choices. The one thing that's a zonk for me is that Casio clock. It looks like it's from 1988. All this is futuristic, and then they give you a classic clock there from 1988. You also do have your gauge indicator for your ECVT. We drop down, you do have a bit of gloss black. I know that's gonna give you fingerprints. You got your start stop button. This is an 8-inch display. Love the graphics on it. You have Apple CarPlay, Alexa, Amazon Alexa system in it. This one does not have the navigation installed, but you keep dropping down, you have your AC controls, easy to modulate, easy to control, no dual climate in this option. This little guy here, this is gonna be controlling that ECVT. You got your drive mode and full EV mode, wireless charging pad, which is a very nice touch, but you got a lot of gloss black. So if you hate fingerprints and you don't work for the FBI, you may not like this setup here with all this gloss black, but I guess the key is don't touch it, you don't have to worry about it. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats. Here is your standard Prius key fob. Nothing really to write home about. It's a key fob. It opens things and closes things. You have a 12 volt and an aux jack and USB placed right there. Skinnier armrest, and it's hard as a battery, as a lithium ion battery. So not really digging the armrest. We're gonna open this up and it only opens for me, not for you on the passenger side. You can put plenty of Twinkies in here, cupcakes, even get a big old barrel. You ever seen those barrel of Twizzlers? Put that in there and then you can eat all day. Seats, I'm digging them. I like the color combination. Would I want these in my own vehicle? No, because they're gonna get dirty easy, but they're very, very soft. They remind me of a marshmallow. It's like now I wanna have marshmallows after touching this seat, but I think it fits the character of the car. lots of headroom. Lots of headroom. And then the other zonk is going to be no frameless mirror. This is an auto dimming mirror, which is nice, but no frameless mirror. Why don't you come over to the business end, because I want to show you behind the wheel of this Prius. All right, guys, business end, you do have nice electric assist for the driver. Seats are very comfortable. I'm telling you, you feel like you're sitting on a marshmallow. That's how comfortable they are. I do like the steering wheel. The thickness of it is really nice. Horn button is a little funky, but I get it. It's a Prius. More of that gloss black. So if you hate gloss black, I don't know how much you're going to love this interior. You do have a heated steering wheel, and of course you're going to get the full safety suite from Toyota Sensing 2.0. We're up to 2.0 now for your Prius. It's amazing though how when you take the gauge pod and put everything in the center, it really cleans everything up. Like I said, not my thing, but I could see why people do gravitate to the Prius. Why don't we check out the back seat though and see how your passengers are going to love sipping fuel back there. All right, guys, backseat time in the Prius. The wonderful thing is there once used to be a time when hybrids, you would have to compromise everybody's comfort because the batteries would take up so much room. The batteries are underneath me, and they're actually a lot smaller. Plus, that's actually a good thing because that weight actually lowers the center of gravity for the vehicle. Now, sitting back here, plenty of headroom. I do like the backs of the seats. I like the way it's leather all the way around, or leather material, I should say. You have a nice pocket on both sides. And then here's the great news, 2 USBs. I would have been a little upset if there were none in a car that's all about technology. My zonk though is there's no rear AC. For $30,000, I don't care if it's a hybrid, an electric vehicle. I don't care if it's the Flintstones car. It better have rear AC vents at that price point. Pull down the armrest, soft as a marshmallow. Your 2 cup holders are really nice. But overall, I could go thousands of miles back here. Why don't we go ahead, pop the hatch and check out the cargo area in the Prius. All right, guys, the cargo area, we're gonna go ahead and push. You're gonna have to lift, no big deal. You open up though, this is what I like about this hatchback design. Tons of space, large opening. Let me flip this up out of the way for you so you can clearly see the amount of room that you have. You have a very rudimentary, good old-fashioned light in here to help light up the back area. It doesn't look very bright. They should have went with LED. I'll pull this up and you can see all your material for if you have a flat. So you don't have a spare in your Prius, but what you do have is tons of room. And then look how easy it is. You're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna take this and flop it right down. Now, at the end of the day, what type of space are we looking at? We are looking at 27.4 cubic feet with the seats up. So you got plenty of room back here. And that's another reason why these are so popular, is because they're so versatile. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part of any Ladies Rise review. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take it for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 Prius. This is all new for me. This is the first time I've ever been in a Prius. I've done the Corolla hybrid. This is one of the grandfathers, so to speak, of hybrid car technology. One thing's for sure, seats are so soft and they feel really nice. I do like that. And yes, visibility is really well done because you don't have a gauge pod in front of you. It's off to the center like we showed you earlier. Back window visibility sucks. I'll just go ahead and say that right now. Zonk it for you. Whatever adjective you want me to use, it's really that bad. It's almost like a split window 63 Corvette with the split going the other way. Instead of the split being vertical, it's horizontal, and it's terrible. So that's something just to be concerned about. You are just gonna have to be mindful that there's a large, massive bar separating the 2 pieces of glass on that back hatch section. Driving it though, feels very smooth, very comfortable. You really can't tell until you hear the noise of when the inline 4 turns on and helps you out power-wise. Quiet cabin, and I really do like the white material with the darker color. It works. Now, would I buy it? No. But right now, driving around with you guys, it makes it even feel more futuristic, if that even makes sense. But definitely a very capable car. You have all that usability in the back. A lot of gloss black, like I pointed out, but I guess the plus is in the XLE trim, you don't have a sunroof, so glare isn't going to be that huge of an issue. But they definitely thought through every location of every button, every panel that you could touch. to get into different functions of the Prius. Steering wheel actually has pretty good feedback, considering that this is a hybrid vehicle and not made for carving corners necessarily. Brake feedback is good. No regenerative braking in the Prius, if you've ever wondered or wanted to ask. But pulling out on throttle, remember this one's front wheel drive. Like I said, you're gonna have to be careful when you pull out into traffic on a 3-lane highway like this, because 0 to 60 in the 9-second range. Once you get up to speed though, she hums along. You do have a CVT, which, to be honest with you, it didn't seem as noticeable as in non-hybrid vehicles. So I am happy to say that. There is a bit of wind noise though, which I'm quite surprised, because they try to design this car to cheat the wind, but I feel like the wind is really hitting the side windows and making some buffeting sound, which I'm not really a big fan of. But overall, I feel very comfortable in this thing, and it's good that they really worked on the comfort of the interior, because obviously getting 50 or more miles to the gallon, you're not going to be stopping much for fuel. Making a U-turn here, easy, smooth, on throttle. Just not the fastest. You could go and make a sandwich and come back to your car and you'll still be accelerating. So one of the challenges of this particular Prius, now remember, there is the Prius Prime, which gives you more power. If you're really concerned about that, go the Prime route. The back window is just kind of freaking me out a little bit, but something that I'm sure you would get used to, just like I said, with the whole gauge cluster situation being in the center rather than right in front of the driver. But the way the car rides is very, very smooth, which I'm happy to say. All right, guys, let's do a little bit of acceleration here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in sport power mode. Excuse me, it's not sport mode, but power mode on the brakes. A bit of body roll as to be expected. This is not a Supra, this is a Prius. But just to show you how capable handling it is. Steering does not have much feel, you kind of just have to go with it. But hey, she's cooking. On the brakes, turn in, bit of body roll. Let me see this transition. Yeah, you're overcooking her. It's one of those things that it's not made for going around those turns like that. Get yourself a Supra or a Toyota 86. But I just like to show you that when you need a maneuver, say somebody runs out in the middle of the road chasing after a Twinkie, you'll be able to maneuver around them very quickly and feel confident and capable. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not trying to say, hey, go do a track day in your Prius. But I'm just showing you that sometimes when emergency situations come up and you have to move out of the way, you could do it in the Prius and feel confident. But hopefully this gave you a nice overview. Hopefully I went a little bit further than any other YouTuber in a Prius to really show you what they're all about. But we're getting back to Wesley Chapel Toyota, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Wesley Chapel Toyota. I definitely got to thank Jeff and the rest of the crew getting this Prius. You guys asked for it. This is the first Prius on the channel. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section if you want to see more hybrids. Is this a great option for your hybrid transportation? Sure. I personally would go more a route where the car actually looks like a standard vehicle rather than something that has some funky design to it. But hey, 50 miles to the gallon is nothing to laugh at. But if you want to keep seeing cars like these, like I said, add that in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radius Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner. He wants to see how far we could hypermile this Toyota Prius before it runs out of fuel. So get ready for the pushing, Tom. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.